how's it everybody? Welcome to another episode of Game Nights. This time we have a couple of our favorite guests returning.
Hey guys, it's Mel. I'm really excited to be back here on Game Nights today.
And one of the original cast members from the show.
Hey guys, I'm Craig. It's been a long time, but happy to be back on Game Nights.
Craig was on some of the original episodes of Game Nights, and he caused quite the commotion when he brought Infect to the table, and I love seeing how everyone reacted, so we're really happy to have him back.
Craig, are you playing any Infect in your deck today?
A little bit.
On this show, everybody built their decks around one of the new multicolored legendary creatures from Rivals of Ixalan.
So my deck is built around Azor, the Lawbringer. So the goal of my deck is to draw some cards. So I've got things like Rhystic Study, Consecrated Sphinx, and I need to make sure that I get rid of everyone else's small creatures and make sure that I can dominate the skies with this Azor.
My deck is built around Elenda, the Dusk Rose. Ultimately, I want to be taking advantage of creatures dying all over the battlefield, putting counters onto Elenda, and then sacking her at that opportune moment to create a million vampires, swing for the win.
So my commander is Zakama, Primal Calamity. The goal of my deck is to just start using his three abilities, taking care of creatures, artifacts, enchantments, gaining life if I'm too low. Overall, this commander is super fun to build around, and I think a lot of people are going to be building Zakama.
My deck today is Kumena. It's a Merfolk tribal deck. The goal of the deck is to generate a ton of value, use a lot of tapping and untapping shenanigans, and outvalue opponents and hopefully last to the long game, and then attack with some unblockable creatures and seal the deal.
Alright, I'm really excited to see how my deck plays.
Let's shuffle up and play some Commander.
Commander? What?
What?
We play Commander on this show?
Alright, as usual, we have playmats from Rivals of Ixalan. I'm in dinosaur country over here.
Me too.
Yarr!
I'm in Command Zone country.
Wait a second.
We only have 3 Rivals ones. So we realized something kind of weird, Craig. You've been on the show a lot, maybe as much as anybody has, but you've never been officially knighted.
I haven't.
That's a travesty, so we want Mel to go ahead and please do the honors. I understand you brought...
A powerful 3-mana artifact.
Oh.
A Sword-Effect.
Hey!
It's the Sword of Feast and Famine.
Nice.
Hunting is sweet.
Oh my goodness.
So Craig Blanchett.
Arise, Sir Craig!
So Craig, welcome to Game Nights.
Thank you.
Only one may stand! You guys ready? I'm going to play a Fluted Delta, I will crack it, and then I will play the Enclave Cryptologist. As far as first turns go, Enclave Cryptologist is one of the best ways to start out the game because it lets you use your mana early efficiently and then you start just drawing cards for free. Pass turn to you, Josh.
Alright, strap in everybody because I'm about to have one of those turn ones that you dream about.
I'm gonna go Swamp, Soul Ring, Orzhov Signet.
Ooh, it's gotten hot in here.
The good thing Josh only has 4 cards left in his hand.
So yeah, if anybody's counting, that's 4 mana on the table. Turn 1. Not bad.
I'm going to play a Fortified Village tapped and pass turn.
Sucker.
How far behind can you feel on turn 1? That's how far behind I feel.
I will play my Flooded Strand, and I'm gonna go grab me an island.
Okay, let's play Minamo, School at Watcher's Edge. This card can untap my commander because I'm going to be using a lot of tapping shenanigans in my deck as well as any other legendary permanents I have. Then I'll tap 2 and play Cryptolith Rite. Cryptolith Rite actually works really good with the level up mechanic because I can tap my Enclave Cryptologist for the mana it needs to level up. Now I have both things I need to get this game going, which is card draw and mana ramp.
Okay, I'm gonna play a Myriad Landscape, and then I'm gonna tap 4, and I'm gonna play Vidalcan Orrery.
This is one of my favorite cards in Commander, and getting it out very early is going to allow me to be reactive for basically the entire game.
So now for the rest of the game, Josh gets to do what he loves best, which is waiting to respond at the ideal moment because all of his cards have flash.
And I will pass the turn.
I'm going to play Wooded Foothills, crack it. I'll grab a Taiga with that. I'll play a Thornscape Familiar. I want to get that ramp out because I want to be able to play my Dino as early as possible. Then I can use his extra abilities to start picking off other people's things.
All right, I will play a Plains, tap both, and I will play Azorius Signet.
Nice.
So on flavor.
It's Ram City all around. Look at this.
It is.
Pass turn.
Okay. I will play a Strip Mine. Ooh. You know what? I'm going to tap 2 mana, and then I will tap the Enclave Cryptologist with Cryptolith Rite to level it up twice.
So it's level 2 now?
Level 2, and I'll pass turn. I did this so I could start drawing cards as soon as possible. I'm facing no pressure on the board. And I'll pass turn.
Cryptolith Rite, so good. Right, untap, draw. Play an isolated chapel.
Better hear you pass that turn.
Yep, because I have Vidalcan Ori, I can just pass the turn.
Alright. So I'm going to play a Rugged Prairie. I could have flashed this in, but I'll just play an Aven Mind Sensor now. I see Josh has Myriad Landscape, and I could Aven Mind Sensor later. That allows him to do something with 6 mana in his Orrery. So I think I'm going to force an action from Josh here, so that way he has to activate that land. Otherwise, it's very likely that he won't get what he's looking for.
In response to the Aven Mind Sensor, I'm gonna crack my Myriad Landscape while I can still search and go find 2 swamps.
I don't like being forced to do things, but I kind of got to get my value while I can.
And then I move to attack step, and Mel.
That's one swole bug.
Take 2.
Dang.
I kind of attack Mel because I never met her before, so take 2 damage.
That's the most Craig reason ever.
Pass turn.
I shall play Reliquary Tower, and I will play a Propaganda.
Oh,
Y'all
very
had better
nice.
prepare to pay up. Propaganda is going to be awesome because it's one of those political tools where it really disincentivizes people from wanting to attack you. And my hope is that they're going to be like, hey, that costs some mana. I'm not going to go there.
We're playing with Craig, and he loves to turn his creature sideways. So when Mel puts a Propaganda on the board, it essentially says, Craig, you can only attack 2 people now, and that's me and Josh. I don't like that.
Also, I'm a token deck. Eventually, I want to attack with a lot of creatures, so I'm gonna have to deal with it at some point.
Pass turn.
Alright, untap. Let's draw. Oh my. Turn 4, I missed my land drop, but fortunately, I have a way to draw cards. Let's tap 2 to level up my Cryptologist one more time. And I will tap it to draw a card. Oh, I'm having flashbacks of old Game Nights episodes if I don't draw a land here. I'm gonna tilt. I'm gonna tilt. And we'll play a land for the turn. Oh, yes. Things are going well. And then I will tap 1 to play the Sensei's Divining Top. This card is always good in Commander, but it's even better in my deck because I have some awesome synergies to line up with it. Pass the turn.
Untap, draw.
Because of Vidalcan Ori, I'm going to be doing a lot of this, which is nothing on my turn, because I can do it whenever I want to during other people's turns, so pass the turn.
I'm going to play Cradle.
Oh gosh, this might be one of the best lands in the entire format.
It also means we're going to probably see the dinosaur a lot earlier than we otherwise would. I'm not real happy about it.
So I'm going to tap 4 to cast Solemn Simulacrum. This is fantastic because with my guy's Cradle, next turn guaranteed I'll have enough mana to play Zakama.
It'd be great if Jimmy would use that Strip Mine on the guy's Cradle, and then maybe Zakama won't come out next turn. I hope he does that.
I declare attacks, 1 at Jim, 1 at Josh.
I declare no blocks.
Yep, no box. I take 2.
Dang.
And I will pass turn.
Untap. Draw turn. I will play a Sturmgeist. It's 4/4.
4/4 flyer?
Don't worry about it.
It's
Fine.
probably fine, yeah.
So Sturmgeist is a card that gets bigger and bigger the more cards that I have in my hand. And I've got Reliquary Tower out that says my hand can be as big as it wants to be.
Mel's deck is all about drawing cards, so that thing could become huge.
Pass the turn.
Okay, at the end of your turn, I will activate my top. Okay, I will organize like that. And then, untap, I'll drop a turn, and I will play Herald's Horn, naming Merfolk. This card is really good in my deck because I already have the top out, which means I can manipulate the top of my library to give me a much better chance at drawing a Merfolk every single turn.
Jim seems to be setting up some sort of value engine that isn't there yet, but is starting to make me a little bit concerned.
I will tap 2 mana and cast Kumena, Tyrant of Araska.
Nice.
So when I was checking out a lot of these commanders, a lot of them are based around tribal themes, and tribal cards get worse and worse the more types of those cards come out. So I'm watching Jimmy. He's got Sensei's Divining Top along with Herald's Horn, so he can keep looking for more and more merfolk. And I'm wondering how many more there are going to be and how bad this is going to get.
And then I will pass the turn.
On your end step, I'm going to tap 5 and play an Ogre Slumlord.
So this is going to be really key to the strategy of my deck, which wants to take advantage of creatures all over the board dying and generating value from that.
Death Touch is something that kind of messes with my board a little bit. It really makes it so that I can't attack him because my stuff doesn't have Double Strike. It's just big. Awesome, awesome card.
Then I will untap, and I will draw, play a Swamp. Yep, pass turn.
So here we go. The huge dinosaur is going to come out. I just really hope that Craig doesn't look in my direction.
Now, The turn I've been waiting for.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I've got enough. He's coming out, bro.
Oh no. Oh, this is
He's
so
not attacking me this turn,
scary.
that's all I care.
Everyone's sitting there counting up how many lands Craig has and how much mana he can generate, and that is terrifying. But also exciting, because I love dinosaurs.
When this thing comes out, stuff's gonna get real, and I'm a little bit scared.
So I'm gonna tap out to bring in Zakama!
Look how much text there is on this guy.
It can
He does
kill-
everything.
It can kill almost every creature. Craig just gained some life.
Yeah, right?
Oh my goodness.
He just basically cast it for free?
He also has a Gaia's Cradle on the board, so he's gaining mana out of this transaction.
So that means then I could have a follow-up play. I'm going to play Odric, Lunarch Marshal.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So now every single one of Craig's creatures is going to have Vigilance, Reach, Trample, and Flying. Huh. That's bad.
Then, yeah, the destroy artifacts and enchantment stuff, right? So now the fun starts.
There's a lot of targets on the board. I'm pretty sure I know which one he's gonna go after.
So, activate Zakama's ability, I'm gonna destroy Propaganda. And I have enough mana to blow up one more thing, and the next most important target...
Look the other way, Craig, please. Please?
Come on, man. My stuff's not very scary. What can I do? You don't have to kill my stuff.
I'm gonna use his ability a second time, and I'm gonna destroy the Vidalcan Orrery.
Okay, I get it. It was a scary card for Craig, but it's gonna cost him.
In response, I'm going to tap 6, including 2 white. And I'm going to play Austere Command.
Oh no.
I'm going to destroy all creatures with CMC 3 or less or 4 or greater, so all creatures.
I'm so torn. This Sturmgeist had such big plans.
Ooh, okay. I'm kind of glad this happened. I'm kind of sad I just cast my commander, but I'm more glad that this happened. In response, I will activate my Enclave Cryptologist to draw a card.
Then it resolves.
Results?
So in response, he blows up all my creatures.
I blew up everybody else's too. And that's going to trigger Ogre Slumlord 6 times because 6 creatures died, and I'll make 6 rat tokens.
Okay, oh jeez.
It's not the best. I rather would have held that Wrath for later, but it's not the worst either. I do have a decent board position still left with the rats and something to build upon and further my main strategy.
And I'll draw off my Solemn and pass turn.
Alright, I will tap a Plains and play Land Tax. Land Tax is just like one of the most solid cards that you can play in Commander. It's only 1 mana, it nets you tons of lands. So yeah, that's all I got for right now. Pass the turn.
Alright, I will untap. On my upkeep, I'm going to activate the top. Okay, I will organize the top like that. Herald Horn is going to trigger, and I'm going to reveal the top card of my library. It's Thadadel, Acquisitor. It's a merfolk, and I'm going to put it into my hand.
That's a pretty good little combo.
And then I will draw my card for the turn. Sweet! This is exactly what my deck wants to do. Generate a ton of value and find some really high power level creatures. Okay, I'm going to just cast Kodama's Reach. And I will find a forest onto the battlefield and a forest into my hand. All in all, I'm feeling great. The things that really worried me in this game were flyers and huge creatures that I couldn't deal with, and that single board wipe took care of all of that. And then I'll pass the turn.
Okay. I will untap, draw.
So now that I've lost the Orrery, I have to play things at sorcery speed. It feels bad.
I'm going to tap 4. I'm going to bring out Elenda, the Dusk Rose.
Something interesting about this commander is if you want the second ability to trigger where she makes vampire tokens, you actually have to let her go to the graveyard rather than the command zone. So it's a tough decision when to do that because once Elenda's in the graveyard, she's a lot harder to get back out.
Go to combat.
And of course, I have to send a message. Craig, you blow up my stuff, you're going to take as much damage as I can give you.
Craig, 6 at you.
Yep, okay. I can't block it, so I'm gonna take 6. Oh, I knew I was getting attacked at that point. I knew what I had done.
And then second main, I'm going to tap 3 and play Astronaut's Altar.
Free sacrifice outlets are so powerful in the format. Specifically, they're very good with my commander. I'm pretty well set up here for an explosive turn coming up.
Alright, I will cast Sky Shard Claim. So I'm gonna grab Stomping Ground and Savannah. I'm just trying to get back into Zakama as soon as possible. And pass turn.
So I'm gonna untap, and since Craig so generously got himself some lands, Land Tax is gonna trigger, so I'm gonna put 3 basics into my hand. So if there's one thing that Blue and White loves to do, it's waste time and draw cards, and I'm definitely gonna draw some cards here. I reveal an island, and a Plains, and I will put those into my hand, and I will draw for turn. And then I'm gonna tap 6, and I'm gonna play Consecrated Sphinx.
This is one of those cards where if you don't get rid of it pretty fast, you're just going to lose that game and you're going to get buried in card advantage.
At the year end step, I'm going to activate the top. Okay, I'll put them back on like that. And untap. Upkeep, Herald's Horn is going to trigger. I'm going to reveal Empress Galena, who is in fact a merfolk. And then I will put her into my hands. I will draw for turn.
And I will trigger Consecrated Sphinx and draw 2.
So jealous.
Alright, let's go ahead and play Thada Adel. And then I will play Empress Galena. This card says Legendary Permanent. That means I can steal Craig's Gaia's Cradle. It doesn't even have to be a creature. Plus, with Galena out, Craig has to be a little hesitant about playing his commander because I can steal it, even if he targets it with damage.
It might seem like this is a scary card because Jimmy might be able to steal my commander, but with Ashnod's Altar out, he really can't. I can always just sacrifice it in response. So I'm not really worried about Galena.
And pass turn.
I'll untap. I will draw a card.
Oh gosh.
And I will draw cards as well.
Oh yeah, you will.
So the one thing that's better than just drawing cards on your turn is drawing cards on other people's turns.
I know what I have to do here. That Consecrated Sphinx just has to get off the table as soon as possible.
All right, I'm going to start by playing Fleshbag Marauder.
Oh,
creature.
come on.
This card is an awesome answer to Mel's Consecrated Sphinx, and I couldn't be happier. I do lose a creature in the process, but honestly, to get that thing off the board, I'd pay a steeper price.
So I will sack a rat.
I will sack Thada Adel.
And I will sacrifice my Consecrated Sphinx. So I kind of knew that Consecrated Sphinx is one of those where it hits the table and it instantly draws immediate hate. So I didn't expect it to stay around for a while, but I'm still real sad about it.
And that's going to trigger Olinda 3 times. So she gets 3 counters.
So it also is advancing my main game plan, putting counters onto Olinda so I can eventually get a bunch of tokens on the board.
Okay, I'm going to go to combat. And Craig, I'm going to come at you with Olinda and 4 rats.
Okay, no blocks.
So that's 8. And 4 of that is commander damage because it's from Olinda. And then because of lifelink, I'll gain 4, going to 42. And then I'm going to play Cathar's Crusade.
This is the reason I was really upset to lose my Vidalcan Orrery. This is the kind of card that I would like to sneak out on the end step before my turn, before people have a chance to react to it. Playing it at sorcery speed is scary, and I just hope that nobody's really paying attention.
Cathar's Crusade, this is a card that you always have to worry about in Commander because it's really explosive, and if you're not careful, it could just end the game.
And I will pass the turn.
Alright. So I'm gonna play Vizier of the Menagerie. I guess it's kind of card draw for me based on if I have a creature at the top of my library, which is why I put it in. And I'm gonna look at the top card of my library. But top card of my library is a land, so doesn't do much for me right now. And then I'm gonna play Celestina Signet.
It seems as if Craig's been really set back by that board wipe that I played earlier. He really hasn't done anything for a couple of turns, so I don't want to take my eyes off him, but it's nice that he's not really doing anything super scary right now.
And I pass turn.
So during my upkeep, land tax is going to trigger, and I'm going to grab a plains, and an island.
So you've drawn 6 cards off Lantax, 4 cards off Consecrated Sphinx. Look at that hand.
Reliquary Tower.
Jeez Louise.
Cards for
Tower.
days.
Good.
Man, so there's some problems out here on the board. Galena's messing me up because she can take any legend. Josh has got a million things over there on his board, but I've really got nothing. So at this point, let's just clean everything up. Tap 4. What's a 4-mana spell with white in it?
Wrath of God.
Wrath of God.
Oh, Wrath of God. I do lose one of my best creatures in my deck, but I'm also staring down a ton of tokens from Josh and his commander, so it's not so bad, honestly.
I'm fine with that. That's cool. I lose 1 creature. I don't really care.
So my board's kind of the biggest at the moment, and it would seem as if Wrath of God is bad, except...
Okay, hang on. I have some responses. I will sack all my rats and the Fleshbag Marauder to Ashnod's Altar, and I will put 5/6 counters onto Olinda. So, okay, she's a 10/10.
Okay.
Then Wrath of God
Resolves.
So I'm gonna let Olinda go to the graveyard.
What I don't think of is what Josh has on the board.
When she dies, that's gonna create 10 vampire tokens.
Oh, jeez.
And then, when they enter, Cathar's Crusade will trigger, so each of them is going to get 10 +1/+1 counters. So now I've got 10, 11, 11s.
Oh, no. That's 110 power? Oh, my goodness.
I'm dead. I have 0 creatures. I pissed him off earlier. I'm dead.
Oh my god, what have I done?
I'm dead. I'm dead.
So luckily I have one thing that can at least keep me around for one more turn. I'm gonna put out my insurance policy. Crawl space.
Well, that's a pretty good follow-up play. At the very least, she's not going to die from my tokens crashing in, but Jimmy and Craig they're in real trouble.
Pass my turn.
Untap. Herald Torrent is going to trigger. I will not reveal a card, and I will draw for turn. Alright, I will play a land. When you're in green-blue, you don't have too many ways to interact with the entire board, especially at instant speed, but there is one way that I know of, and Josh knows it too. 2, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. So look at that.
Don't look at that.
So I can't risk tapping any mana right now. Pass turn.
So Jimmy has left up a very specific amount of mana. Coincidentally, maybe the amount of mana that you would need to cast, I don't know, Cyclonic Rift? Jimmy would make this play whether he has Cyclonic Rift or not. Because if he's going to die to the tokens and he doesn't have an answer to it, he may as well leave up the threat of the answer to it because he knows I'm going to see that he might have that card, in which case I might be deterred from attacking him.
The real question is, does Jimmy have Cyclonic Rift?
Kill some people or risk losing it all?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, well...
Josh has a really interesting decision here.
So I can attack and get rid of Craig. He's tapped out. He can't do anything about it. Mel, I can hit her for a lot. She's tapped out with crawl space. The question is, do I send the rest of the creatures at Jimmy?
So if Josh doesn't attack Jimmy, he's not going to force Jimmy to use whatever effect he's got to get rid of all this stuff.
If he does have Cyclonic Rift, then all my attacks are null. Because he can't just point it at the creatures attacking him. He would basically bounce all the creatures, in which case I do no damage to anyone. It's pretty tough.
I'm hoping on two miracles here. I'm hoping that Josh attacks Jimmy, and I'm hoping that Jimmy has Cyclonic Rift. The likelihood of this is not very good.
Alright. We'll go to combat. Alright. We'll go to combat.
I'm really hoping that Josh only attacks Mel and Craig and leaves me be.
Mel, 2 at you.
Come on, Josh, come on. Why just attack 2 when you could have all 3 of us?
Craig, 3 at you.
Come on, Josh, attack everybody.
Go get Jimmy. Go get Jimmy.
Jimmy,
Are you sure?
Let's say I'm 90% sure Jimmy has Cyclonic Rift. That still gives me a 10% chance to basically win the game right now. If he does have it, I'm not sure I can beat it anyway, so I decided to just go for it.
yeah, Jimmy, that leaves 5 coming at you.
Yes. Now it's just up to Jim if he has it.
Does he have it? Does he have it?
I mean, I think he probably has it, but there's a chance he doesn't have it.
Oh, I was really hoping it wouldn't attack me. In response, I'm gonna top.
Spin the top? Are you serious?
Does he not have it?
We're probably dead. We're probably dead.
I will order it like this.
Oh, come on, be bluffing, be bluffing, be bluffing. You could totally be bluffing. He wasn't bluffing.
Of course I had it. It's your boy. He always has it.
Of course he had it. I didn't doubt it for a second. I knew he had it.
Okay, Cyclonic Rift resolved. Everything goes to your hand.
It feels bad, but I don't regret the decision because he had it no matter what. So he's either going to cast it now or on the end step before his turn.
Alright, I'm gonna play Soul Ring. I'm gonna play the Signet back out. I'm gonna tap 5 and I'm gonna play Cathar's Crusade.
Another good thing about forcing Jimmy to use that now is I'm actually able to replay some of my cards out on my turn, whereas if he does on the end step, then I wouldn't be able to sort of rebuild my board a little bit immediately.
Alright, untap, draw, and then I'll play a Celestia Signet, and then I'm gonna play Aurelia, the War Leader, which has haste and allows me to have 2 attack steps.
The fact that she can start over an entire extra attack sequence just makes anything that Craig can put out on the board way scarier.
And then I declare attacks, Mel.
Oh, my face.
Second attack, I attack you again.
Ow! Alright, I take 6.
And I pass turn. So at this point, nobody else really has a board state. I'm actually feeling pretty good.
Alright, untap. Now that Galena's gone, I can play the card that I've been waiting to play. I will play Kefnet the Mindful. And I definitely have more than 7 cards in my hand.
Yep.
Since I had land tax out, my hand's just been growing and growing.
Yeah, how many cards do you have? Just, I'm curious.
1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11, 12 cards in hand.
12.
It's not bad. And I'm going to tap 5 and cast Sigil of the Empty Throne. So now I've got an awesome blocker in Kefnet. I've got the first part of my big engine for making angels set up, and I've got a couple of enchantments in my hand. I'm feeling really good. Pass turn?
Okay. I'm gonna untap Herald Torn is going to trigger. I will reveal the top card of my library. It's Surge Spanner. Put it into my hand, and then I will draw for the turn. I'll play a land, and then I'll play Lifecrafter's Bestiary. This card is another value engine for me because it helps manipulate the top of my deck for Herald Torn, and it also just lets me draw more cards, and is the kind of thing that really gets a deck going in the mid to late game. And then I will play Surge Spanner. Yes! I have Cryptolith right out. I can tap the Surge Spanner for the mana to use its ability and then start bouncing permanents. That's right, not non-land permanents, just straight permanents. I'm going to trigger Lifecrafter's Bestiary and tap a green to draw a card, and then I'll pass turn.
I untap, draw. See, I can draw cards too. Look at
Nice, nice. One card a turn. Fair magic.
that. I'll play Ashnod's Altar.
I'm still not drawing anything here. What I really need is something that's going to draw me more cards. I'm just kind of out of gas, and I'm just crossing my fingers, living off the top of my deck, and hoping that I can get back into this thing.
Go ahead.
Untap, draw. Okay. Vorinclex?
Oh my god!
Vorinclex in my deck basically turns my general into a super general because now all my lands tap for double. So now I can blow up twice as much stuff. Plus the oppression on my opponents. It gets pretty bonkers.
Why are you playing that card? You don't mess with another person's lands. Those are sacred. That's such a jerk card for jerks. I mean, like, who doesn't let other people play Magic and like untap their lands?
Okay,
I mean, that's just like common courtesy, man.
Okay.
Like, let me play Magic the Gathering.
All right, okay. Can we move on to the next turn?
Who puts that in their deck?
Alright, then I'm going to put out a Somberweld Sage. So next turn, I'm going to be able to activate Zakama as much as I want. I'm going to blow up everything. Declare attacks. Josh,
I can
you have
still
the
defend
eyes.
myself. I'm just warning you.
Alright, Jim. Jim, 3 at you.
Okay, I'll take 3 in the air.
Second attack, I attack you again.
Okay, I'll take 3 more damage.
And then I pass turn.
Alright. Oh, this is terrible. I have a handful of a ton of really awesome stuff, but because Vorinclex is here, I can't cast a bunch of them because I want to keep things up for the next turn. This card is just the actual worst. Alright, I'm going to play Land Tax. And so that's going to trigger Sigil of the Empty Throne. I'm going to get myself a 4/4 Flying Angel token. Now these are those sweet tokens from Unstable that have the full art on the other side.
Nice.
And then I'm going to play everybody's favorite. It's Rhystic Study.
Oh, okay.
So Rhystic Study is going to be extra good in this instance because of Vorinclex. Both Josh and Jimmy are not going to want to tap that extra mana, so they're going to be more than willing to give me this extra card, I'm hoping. That's going to trigger Sigil of the Empty Throne again, and I'm going to get another Angel token.
So this is what I was worried about. That's 2 enchantments, 2 angels. It feels like Mel is starting to take command of the game here.
Alright, I'm going to put these lands to the side because Vorinclex is not going to let them untap next turn. I want to leave mana up, so that's all I'm going to do. Pass turn.
Craig, at the end of your turn, I'm going to activate Strip Mine and blow up your guy's cradle.
This is good for me if I'm ever going to come back in this game. I need the other players to kind of whittle each other down while I slowly climb my way back up.
In my upkeep, I'm going to activate the top.
So Vorinclex, that one on tap?
Yes.
Okay.
Both of these are going to trigger Lifecrafter's Bestiary and Herald Torn. I'll scry first, I'll bottom, and then I will Herald Torn, but not reveal, and then I will draw my card for the turn. I look over at Josh, knowing that he has the most answers of all of us in his deck, and I ask him, so Josh, what can you kill?
I can kill one thing.
Vorinclex has this effect, right, where your opponents start talking with each other, making deals, trying to get it off the table, and Jimmy and I are kind of making a deal for who's going to get rid of what.
Okay, if I do it, you're going to get rid of the Sage? Is that the deal? What are you getting rid
Yeah,
of?
I can get rid of both things and clear Craig's board out.
The two of them are chatting amongst themselves, and it sounds like they've definitely got a plan going on. I'm really excited about this.
In that case, I'll pass turn.
Alright, I'm going to Shriek Maw, evoked. Target Vorinclex.
Josh has just done us all a solid and killed probably one of my most hated cards of all time. Thanks, man.
No problem.
And Rhystic Study trigger, I will pay the 1 extra. And then Shriek Maw gets sacrificed. Okay, Jimmy.
Okay, are you passing turn?
Yeah, and then I go to my end step.
On your end step, I'm going to tap Surge Spanner for blue. That's going to activate its ability, so I'll use that 1 blue and 1 colorless to bounce Somberweld Sage to your hand.
This is the power of that Surge Spanner because Craig's basically set back an entire turn before he can cast Zakama, and I'm happy to see that.
Alright, first I'm going to declare attacks. Josh, 3.
No blocks, I take 3.
Second attack, I attack you again.
Take 3.
Alright, then I'm gonna put out Willow Satyr, which I'm kind of excited about because it just stops anybody from playing their commanders, but overall the only thing right now I can take is Kefnet the Mindful, which does nothing for me. I have 1 card in hand. And I will pay for Rhystic Study. Then I'm gonna tap 3 more and play out my Somberweld Sage again. At this point, my biggest problem is I don't have enough cards, and so there aren't that many options. I'm not in a great spot. Pass turn.
Alright, I'm gonna be sad because I can't untap these lands, and land tax doesn't even trigger. I'm just gonna draw a card as normal. And then I'm gonna go to combat, and I'm going to swing at Craig with these 2 angels.
Ugh, I'm not gonna block. I'll take 8.
Great. Now I will cast Azorius Signet, and then I'll cast Crawl Space. So I've got 8 power worth of angels on the board, I've got an indestructible flyer, I'm still at a pretty decent life total, and I have a counterspell in my hand so I can make sure to protect my position. I feel pretty good. Pass my turn.
At the end of your turn, I'll activate top, and then I'll untap the lands not affected by Vorinclex. Lifecrafter's Bestiary will trigger. I will scry a card to the bottom, and then Herald Torn is going to trigger, and I'm going to reveal Kiora's Follower, and I'll put that in my hand, and then I will draw for the turn.
This is that cadence that we know when players go into. They're like, I do this, and then do that, and then do that thing, and do that. Anytime your opponent's doing that, that's bad. You're probably losing, and I feel like I'm losing.
Alright, I'm going to tap 1 for a Mana Vault. Not pay for Rhystic Study, so go ahead and draw.
Yes, that's what I like to hear.
Is that the first card drawn up for 6 setting?
Maybe.
I will tap 4 mana for a Path of Discovery.
Hey, cool.
This is a new card from Rivals of Ixalan, and I'm really excited about it because now with the top, I can start exploring every single turn and choosing whether or not I want to put a +1/+1 counter on them, or if I want to draw a land. So my deck is pretty much at full speed now with this card out.
You gonna Rhystic Study?
I will pay for the Rhystic Study. And then I'm going to tap 2 to play Kiora's Follower. I will not pay for Rhystic Study. And some things are going to trigger.
He's just able to generate so much card advantage and little incremental value from every play that he does seems to domino into other plays.
I'll tap the Search Mana for green to activate Lifecrafter's Bestiary. Then I draw a card. Then I'll use a mana to top. Then the Explorer trigger will happen. I will reveal Tempt with Discovery with Path of Discovery. I'll put that in the graveyard, and then I'll put a +1/+1 counter on the Kiora's Follower. Everything is working out for me right now. Unless people can take care of all my artifacts and enchantments, I feel like I'm moving into a very strong winning position in this game. And then I will pass the turn.
It's either Jimmy or Mel that are in the lead here. Mel's got a bunch of angels she can maybe create. Jimmy's got a bunch of like crazy synergy stuff that he's doing. I don't know who's winning, but I just know it's not me. But I just drew a card that can maybe even the playing field. I'm really hoping this works out.
Alright, I'm going to pay 5 for Rhystic Study trigger. I will pay the 1 extra. And I'm going to play Tragic Arrogance.
Oh, speaking of artifact and enchantment board wipes, this is so bad for me because Josh gets to choose what I keep.
Everybody else is going to get way more affected than me right now. I'm on board with this play.
Oh, whoa. This is exactly the occasion that I saved up this counterspell for. Remember how you were like, oh man, everyone's drawing cards. I would love to draw cards. You know what, buddy? I want you to draw a card too.
Arcane Denial.
Oh no, it gets countered. I was pinning so much hopes on that card resolving, and now, I don't know.
Yes, Mel! Oh, you are my champion. Thank you so much.
I'm pretty happy with this outcome. I'm pretty likely to untap with my board intact. I'm in a great position. Like, this might be the best position I've been in all game.
It would have been nice if that resolved. But the upside is Mel's tapped out now. Alright, so untap.
Okay, and then that's going to trigger, so we're going to draw cards, Mel.
Then my draw step, I'm going to draw a card. Alright, so who wants to make deals? I can kill somebody.
Not it.
Not it.
Does that count as a deal?
What? No. I don't want to be attacked for 2 turns.
Listen, here's the deal I'm going to make you. It's stupid for you to use an I can kill somebody right now on me. If you kill me instead of one of them, then that's up to you. Go ahead.
It's a good
More
point.
power to you.
I'm not as scary.
And Mel?
I'm just here to draw some cards, man.
Alright, I am going to tap Willow Satyr to target Kefnet the Mindful.
So I knew all this time that Kefnet was a pretty likely target. I've been expecting this.
So now she has no blockers. Then I'm going to cast Triumph of the Hordes.
Oh.
Giving all my creatures +1/+1 Infect and Trample. And she has no blockers. And I have 2 attack steps.
Infect? Are you serious? This is one of those cards where it doesn't even matter that I have 31 life. Alright, I see you moving those cards in my direction.
So
I'm really sad about it.
So,
swing
yeah.
at you for 5
Oh
infect.
my god.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
this is hideous. I take 5 infect damage.
Then I'll go to my second combat phase, and I will attack again for 5 more infect.
Mel, this is our friend Craig. This is what happens when you play Commander with Craig.
Sometimes he just kills you with infect out of nowhere. Probably should have warned Mel about that earlier, though.
What a way to go.
And then second main, I will cast Aggravated Assault. So with my commander and a few other cards that I have in the deck, Aggravated Assault allows me, after I untap all those lands, to tap them again to take extra attack steps. It can get pretty broken.
Alright, I'll untap. On my upkeep, I will tap 1 green to activate Sensei's Divining Top. I will order it like this. Lifecrafter's Bestiary and Herald Torn will both trigger. I will scry with Lifecrafter's Bestiary, keep it on top, and then I will reveal Mirror Regery with Herald Torn. Put it into my hand. And on my draw step, I will choose not to untap Mana Vault and I'll take a damage. I'll draw a card. Alright, my value engine is pretty much entirely set up. I'm going to tap Surge Spanner for blue with Cryptolith Rite. That's going to activate its ability. And then I'll tap an additional land to bounce Somberwald Sage back to your hand. With Surge Spanner, I can keep all of Craig's permanents off the board. I need everything to stay just the way it is, and fortunately for me, I have a card that's going to make that happen. And then I will play Glenalendra Archmage. And that's going to trigger the Path of Discovery.
Ooh, this is a great combo. So with the Explore trigger from Path of Discovery and Sensei's Divining Top, Jimmy can basically guarantee that Glenalendra gets a +1/+1 counter every time she comes into play, which means it'll counteract the Persist -1 counter. Long and short of it is, Jimmy can kind of counter every non-creature spell we cast for the rest of the game.
This is not good for anybody.
Yeah, that is not good.
When Glenalendra enters the battlefield, Path of Discovery will trigger. I will reveal a non-land card on the top of my library, and I will keep Sylvan Library there, and I'll put a +1/+1 counter on Glenalendra. And go for it. At this point, I basically have the entire game on lockdown.
Alright, I'm gonna play Phyrexian Arena.
Okay, we've got a little card draw online. It might be too little too late, but this is really one of the ways I might be able to get back into this game.
I'm going to cast Somberwald Sage. Then I'm going to cast a new card, Trapjaw Tyrant. I'm really excited about this new card. At least if I start dealing damage to him, I can start exiling some of Jimmy's stuff. And then I declare attacks.
Yep.
I attack Jimmy for 3 with Aurelia the War Leader.
I'll take 3.
Second attack, I attack you again.
I'll take 3 more.
And then I pass turn.
Okay, I'm going to untap. On my upkeep, I will pay 1 to top. I'll put these 3 on top. Reveal the top card of my library with Herald's Horn. It's Kopala, Warden of Waves. And I will put that into my hand. And then scry with Lifecrafter's Bestiary. Keep it on top and draw.
Too much value.
I will take 1 damage from the Mana Vault. I'll tap 2, play Mirror Regery, Explore trigger, Sylvan Library again, put a +1/+1 counter on him. So this card, with Surge Spanner and Kira's Follower, means I can essentially bounce 3 permanents a turn as long as I cast a Merfolk spell. I'm just putting extra layers of security onto my lock of this game. I will tap the Surge Spanner for blue, pay an extra mana, and I'll bounce the Will Satyr back to your hand, Craig. And then play Kopala, Warden of Waves, trigger the Path of Discovery. Again, Sylvan Library is on top. Mirror Regery is going to trigger and untap Surge Spanner. And then I will tap Surge Spanner again for blue and tap another blue, and I will bounce your Summerwald Sage.
So Jim is able to bounce at least 2 of my permanents a turn at this point, which means that I'm never going to catch up.
And then I'm just going to go ahead and pass the turn.
Okay, I will untap. Draw for Phyrexian Arena, take a damage. I will draw for turn. I will play a Mentor of the Meek. That's going to trigger Cathar's Crusade, and it gets a +1/+1 counter, so it's actually a 3/3. Woo! Don't everybody get too excited now. Go ahead.
Alright, untap, upkeep, draw. Declare attacks.
Okay.
James, 5 and 3.
Okay, I'm going to use Kira's Follower to untap Surge Spanner. I'll tap Surge Spanner for blue, add a blue, and I will bounce the Trapjaw Tyrant to your hand. And then damage. I'll take 3.
Second attack.
I'll take 3.
I have a couple of direct damage cards in my deck, and so I'm really paying attention to people's life totals, and they're getting kind of low. I need to get rid of Glenalendra so I can have a chance to top deck one of those spells and maybe steal this game out of nowhere. It's possible.
Second main, I'm going to cast Aggravated Assault.
In response, I will Glenalendra it.
Weak.
And then Glenelender is going to persist back onto the battlefield with a -1/-1 counter on it. And that's going to trigger the Path of Discovery.
Okay, in response to the Explore trigger, I'm going to Swords to Plowshares Glenelendra.
Okay, so that will resolve. She will get exiled. Now we'll gain a life.
So with Glenelendra off the table, I do have some outs still to win the game. Debt to the Deathless will probably do it. Exsanguinate will at least give me a shot too. This is all given that Jimmy has no other counter spells in his hand, which I'm really hoping he doesn't.
And then I'll play Somberwald again and pass turn.
Hang on. I'm going to Anguish Unmaking for 5, paying the 2 extra. Target the Surge Spanner.
Which is awesome. At least this way my stuff stays on the battlefield. So I'm feeling like we got a shot at this point. I'm feeling like this might actually turn our way.
So Surge Spanner is going to get exiled, and you lose 3 life. Okay, I will untap. I will trigger Herald's Horn on upkeep. I will reveal Drowner of Secrets, and I'll put it into my hand.
Oh, mill card.
Then tap Curious Follower to untap my Mana Vault, and I will draw for turn. You're at 17, Craig. Josh has 3 cards in hand, probably out of removal at this point. Even with those 2 important cards gone, I still have a lot of synergy on my board, so I'm able to generate a ton of value this turn, and I have a plan. I'm going to play Drowner of Secrets, trigger Miro Reejery, and I'm going to untap the Curious Follower. The cast trigger from Lifecrafter's Bestiary is going to trigger. I will pay a green to draw a card. Path of Discovery is going to trigger, revealing Harvest Season at the top. I'll keep it on top. I'll play +1/+1 counter on Drowner of Secrets. I will now cast Kumena, Tyrant of Araska. Lightcrafter's Bestiary will trigger. I will not draw off of it. I will use Miro's trigger to tap down your Aurelia, Craig.
Okay.
And then I will explore, revealing Harvest Season again, putting a +1/+1 counter on Kumena. And then I will cast Triumph of the Hordes, giving everyone +1/+1 and Trample. I will go to combat. Craig, I'm swinging at you with the full team. It's 18 Trample, I believe.
And I died to Infect.
So we've had 2 players knocked out to Infect. This is a Craig Blanchett game for sure.
It's actually not good that Craig was taken out here because he was buying me the time I needed to draw through my deck and maybe find a way to win.
Alright, with Craig gone, it's just me and Josh. I just need 2 attack steps, and I think I got the game in the bag.
I'll draw for Phyrexian Arena. I'll take a damage. I'll draw for turn.
Okay, I didn't draw one of my direct damage spells. I'm gonna be taking a huge hit this next turn. I'm maybe gonna have one more chance to draw those cards I need.
I play a land. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll untap. I will pay 1 to use the top. Sure, why not? I will scry with Lifecrafter's Bestiary and put it on the bottom. I will not reveal anything with Herald's Horn. I'll draw for the turn. Take a damage from the Mana Vault. I will go to combat. And Josh, I will full swing at.
I have 0 blocks. I take 18.
Alright. I will tap 2, and I will play a Sylvan Library. I'll tap 3 and play Harvest Season.
Oh my goodness.
And then I will put 5 basics into play tapped. Pass turn.
Alright, here we go. So I gotta draw something that directly deals damage to Jimmy. Can I do it?
You got this, bro.
I'll draw for Phyrexian Arena. Take a damage. I will draw for turn.
No, we didn't draw it.
Go ahead, Jimmy.
Untap. I'm just going to forget all my triggers. Draw a card. Combat. Swing out.
I only have 1 blocker, he's got way too much power, and that's it. I get punched in the face by a bunch of merfolk. It's like...
Good game. Good game, everybody. Good game, everybody.
Yes! I did it! I drew lands. I played cards. I was a real Magic player today. Feels great.
I'm a happy camper. 2 people died to Infect. That's half the table. That's cool.
I think Zakama may go in the books as one of the best Naya commanders of all time.
I actually want to build a Zakama deck myself now. Shh, don't tell Craig.
It's always awesome to have Craig back. He is such a fun, dynamic player, and he always brings a new flavor to the table.
You know, we've had a lot of awesome guests on the show, and we love doing that, but there is something very special about playing with the people that you get to play with a lot. You really get to enjoy, you know, knowing what they're going to do and laughing about, like, Craig's going to play Poison and Infect and Aggro, of course, and that's what he always does, but that's one of the reasons we love playing with him.
I really just didn't see the Infect coming. I wish I would have saved my Arcane Denial, but I think that's always the case in Commander. You just gotta go, and you gotta see what happens.
And that's what I love. I love changing the meta up, making people afraid of things that they weren't afraid of before, and seeing how people react and play in those situations. So, Thanks for coming back, Craig. It's always good to have you.
But I gotta be real with you. Vorinclex, are you serious? Who puts that in a deck?